Change my cap. I think what happens is when you wearing a cap, that you're really gonna really show your true colors. Hey, I'm a Bronco fan and I'm an Eagle fan. Go Phillies. I think they can do it this year. Rockies. Who knows? I know they're gonna go less than losing 100 wins, but they're probably still gonna be a laughing stock until the owners actually decide to do something about it. Because all they are right now in Denver are a whole bunch of smoke and mirrors, and until I see something, I don't believe it. Sorry. So it is. Yeah, I started early. So, okay, what do the 80s mean to a lot of you? At least for a lot that, were, part of the 80s. Well, I wouldn't say revolution, but being a teen in the 80s was always fun. You have Die Hard. What did we go through when we learned Die Hard? Twinkies. Always just the best thing to have. You know, when you need something quick, that's all you had. You had Twinkies, especially after when you saw the movie Die Hard. Bruce Willis, you're the greatest. Think positive thoughts your way. I know you don't know me, but sending as much positive. Oh, wow. I'm really getting the finger from someone saying, wrong finger. So, but anyway, but the 80s were something of, I wouldn't say an enigma, but I would say, personally, for me, since I grew up in the 80s, something that we really enjoyed. It was more than just the 80s, it was a way of life. I mean, when 1980 hit, you know, it started a lot of things. Video games, you went from Atari for a few years till you got ColecoVision and television, and then bam, Nintendo comes out with their own systems. Yes, we're all thinking Donkey Kong, we're thinking Legend of Zelda. Yeah, I mean the graphics are good. The graphics are great for the time. I mean, you had more memory on one cartridge than I knew some people had some friends that had up here. Only reason why I say that is because they got baked a little too many times. When I say baked, I mean smoked a little too much of the MJ. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that like I said, the '80s were a frame of life. It was a great times. Did I play designated driver all the time when I turned 18? Of course I did. I don't want anything happening to my friends. That's why I always mention it and whenever I put something online. I mean, you know, I've seen a lot and I've been through a lot. I drank and yes, and I did drive in the '90s, and that was the '90s. I'm talking about the '80s. But I'm talking about the '90s when I did. I was lucky that I got home. Of course, it did live close anyway, so it's not a plus. Trust me. If I would have been pulled over, I would probably been in jail quite a few times. Even though I was in the holding cell once for distributing alcohol to a minor, when they realized that they couldn't hold me in for something they couldn't prove. Hey, high five. Come on. Anyone? Anyone? Anyway. So, like I said, it was a way of life. I mean, going from the '70s to the '80s, you got the Reagan era, to '88. Just, if you know your history and know your history. Do I know my history? No, but I just remember good times. Politics were politics. As a teenager, some of us were into politics. Some of us were just in for a good time, riding that wave and having a sweetheart doing so. I didn't get high too many times, but yeah, I did have my moments. Oh yeah, little MJ. Mm-hmm. Fun, but I always made sure I was home when I did. There was one time I did try, and this was back in 2009. I swear I felt like I was going through hyperspace. Oh God, what the hell happened to me? Yeah, it was that bad. And my kids were in the back of the car. So, what does that tell you? I never did that again. And the person I was dating at the time, threw her out like a wet sponge. She just didn't do it for me. Of course, then again, I was divorced, dated a couple times, figuring, maybe I'll meet someone through the online service. Didn't happen. But this is not about that. This is about the 80s. So back to the 80s. Like I said, we had all it's a great time. We have a great memories, from elementary to middle school to high school. High school, when you're start ninth grade, you're just like you just you feel like you feel like a babe in the woods. You really do because you have no idea who you're going to meet. You have no idea who you're going to see, and friends that since from you've known since from elementary school or middle school, even just new friends that you look at yourself and you think to yourself, "Yep, these are the people I want to hang out with." At ninth grade, I didn't know who I was going to hang out with, except for the people that I knew in middle school. Well, no, I don't have a hearing aid. It's just that how do you just stop something for just a second besides pressing pause? But no, ninth grade, sniffing things out, basically hanging out in the East Building, wondering, hey, why am I here? What am I doing here? And which friends do I start hanging out with? It wasn't much, I can tell you that much. But I did know quite a few, friends when I was in weight training class that had my ass. I'm not saying, you know, grabbing it by all means. What I'm saying is that, had my back. You know, anything happens to you, come to me. I'm there for you. So of course, we all going to be there for one another. But when I have a few seniors that I knew through, through weight training, I knew I had my back. I knew I had my back covered. I knew who I can talk to. The shit that I could just fling out there, and I knew that my back was covered. It was a fun time. Didn't know much of anyone, at least not till 10th grade. Later 10th grade. Uh, you know, great person. I could do their names, but actual names. I would say Allison. Just, Allison. Great person. She was scouring the how I should say the East cafeteria and looking for dorks who would love to join her and her friends up in the IA building. And guess what? I was nominated. Hey, I wasn't okay. So I was a nerd. Okay, I was in acapella in 10th grade. Ninth grade, I mean, I've been playing for piano for all my life until everyone heard in ninth grade, what I could play. It's like, how long do you know that you play piano? Oh, since you were 6 years old. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I toy piano since when I was 3, but nothing like you would hear from Schroeder, like I said in the Charlie Brown comics. Just I didn't have blonde hair and bald. You could see. Yeah, dark hair, not blonde. So, what does that tell you about me? Hey, wow, that's cool. You know, bug. Is it? It's a spider. Anyway, so I don't know what I'm doing. All I gotta say is that the 80s were fun. You know, 81, we'd always go back east to Philadelphia. I mean, that's where my family lived. Went to see my grandmother in Philly, in Pennsylvania. Also saw my grandparents in New Jersey, Margate. Oh, we'd always love going to the boardwalk out there in AC. Uh, then that changed to when the gambling started. Then we switched over to Ocean City, where the arcades were more. Ocean City, New Jersey, great place, love it, still there, and maybe eventually I'd probably wind up retiring there, but we'll see. Hence why this is on. But yeah, and I did hear of an earthquake today. So hey, you know, you're startled. I get it, but that's what happens when you drink too much. Kidding on. Hope you all are safe out there. A big shout out to everyone who is watching or listening, or if you decide to join later on. But for me, this is something that, like I said, arcades. I mean, you couldn't get away from them, especially during the summer months. My God, just, you know, Pong. Atari had those stand up games, the one with the bricks, Breakout. Uh, what was that zone thing with a tank? A battle zone. This Defender, not Atari, but still that was Williams. You've had a slew of great games that came out. You have Donkey Kong Jr., Xevious, Zaxxon, you name it. They had a lot of great games that were on at that time. And the arcades were the place to hang out. I miss those times. I really do. I mean, sometimes, we have met, you know, hold on, we have met, women in our lives. You know, I don't know who didn't meet anyone through the arcades that are married to this day. Very possible. I'm not saying it's not possible, but it's very possible. But sometimes you had the arcades, and you had Nintendo, you had Atari. Unfortunately, you're starting to come to an end. Then it's just the, as I would say, the decade of excess. You had fun, and there was nothing wrong with fun. Fun was partying. Partying was being a desert neighbor. And fun was also making fun of the dorks, which which I was. So what does that tell you? I still am. Why? Because I choose to. Still can't get used to this. It's happy hour. So what can we take from this? That yeah, I was a dork. I was a really big dork. But you know something? I didn't care. I really didn't. Nerd, as I was called, a neo maxi zoom dweeby, to quote one of what Johnny Hughes' favorite movies. I mean, John Hughes. Okay, now we're getting in deep into the 80s here. We're in, you have teen movies. When something always hit a chord with all of us. Weird Science, definitely. Uh, don't tell anyone. I burned a few things in the process, so but you know, I wouldn't worry about it. But you know, then again, who didn't try to build the perfect girlfriend? Besides myself, I know a few. So that's when we realized movies were sheer just fiction. It would never happen. But it did happen though when the first space shuttle did and went up and around the Earth. It was an amazing time. And we just, it was something you could watch and you know that you're part of history with. Uh, one thing, my phone is blinking on and off. Whenever it blinks on and off, by the way, usually means to me that we hear you, master. I'm not a master. I'm just doing what I do best. And that is talk your ears off. Do I like talking? Yes, I do. Do you love listening to music? I sure you do, and I'm sure you'd rather do that than listening to this right now. But I mean, to me and to a lot of other people besides myself, the 80s were a way of life. We history was made, and like I said, video games, going on the boardwalk up and down, being a dork, and just having fun as we do it. But again, like I said, we're talking high school now, where being a dork was not exactly the best thing today. Great movie to uh, kind of start that was Revenge of the Nerds. Thank you, thank you very much. Nerds. Anyway, but also Weird Science, John Hughes, love you, always will, and just what else he brought to the 80s. Uncle Buck, uh, n- and of course, Don't You Forget About Me from Breakfast Club. I mean, there's so many things that he came out with. Like I said, Weird Science, Some Kind of Wonderful, Pretty in Pink, uh, and then of course, and again, you had Joel Schumacher, a little bit away from it, but this is more from a college side of view with St. Elmo's Fire. But you can really take a look at St. Elmo's Fire and really see, what happens, after college. I mean, it was fun, but it wasn't real fun. Just depend on who you were because there weren't any cliques in college like you had in high school. High school, you had jocks, nerds, uh, freaks, geeks. All three had to bow down to the jocks. Jocks didn't have to bow down to anyone unless they were sent to their deans. And when, especially if they did something wrong, as far as like a good fight with someone other than me, because I knew some people that really would cover my back. And if someone tried to, they couldn't because I was pretty good to run away fairly quickly. So I can't anymore because my knees would probably go out on me. So to be honest, I mean, it's a great time. Uh, but through 10th grade, I found my following. Well, I was a follower at times. I always, could consider myself uh, a leader, a follower. I just didn't know what I wanted to be. So I just did what I wanted. And what I wanted to be at first was just enjoy my music. I mean, look what I'm doing now. I'm on Facebook, and I have this 80s station going here with a lot of great 80s music, and you're wondering, you know, some 90s, you know, 21st century music. What gives? Because everyone has a voice to be and a memory to tell. A memory that will always be in your heads. That's the reason why I did this. It's what brings people together. It's what we know that brings those memories back. I figured next year, 40th year anniversary, 40, God, that is right, isn't it? 45. 40-year high school reunion. Uh, do I still talk to a few friends? I do. I do. Do I still have a crush on a few of them? Yes, I would. I do. And I always will. I ain't gonna say who, only because the fact. Sorry about this. No earthquake. I am just moving my leg into a comfortable position. Oh yeah, I had a few crushes, and the first person I dated was in 11th grade. So did I date anyone in 12th grade? Yeah, I wouldn't say so. Had a fun time. But hey, we did what we did best, and I think I know what's causing this. Maybe if we just take this off. So hold on. Maybe you can hear me better. Maybe not. Maybe, maybe not. Yeah, I'm working out again. Bear with me. Took some things out probably I shouldn't, but I did anyway. So this goes connected to the and boom. Yeah, that works. Okay. Back to the 80s. So, there was a lot that went on. I mean, God, I'm trying to think of other movies. I mean, there are a lot of movies that struck chords with anyone who really wants to remember the 80s. I know I do. I remember way too much. I remember someone being walking into a bedroom while two of my friends were having sex, and hearing the door crack open, like, who is it? Who goes there? What are you doing? Are you watching us? Like, oh, I'm sorry. I thought this was the bathroom. Shut the door. Okay. Of course, I shut the door because I had no idea what room was where the bathroom was. Sorry, I interrupted you. Then usually, then uh, the woman who would be coming out of the bedroom would be saying, "You're such an asshole. I can't believe you went that quickly." Whoops! That was my fault. Was it? Nope. So I learned my lessons from that. Yeah, fun times. Like I said, fun times. But one of the things, from high school that I took from is the great friends that we have. And the song, "Don't You Forget About Me." If that came out way years before, I mean, to this day though, since from the 80s, it's been a perennial song, especially with the class of 2024 coming up here in the next month. Grows so quickly. My God. I feel like a grandfather. Oh, yeah, that's right. I am a grandfather. But, oh well. 40 years. I look back and think to myself, what did the 80s mean to me? 80s meant a lot. Uh, Saving friends from doing something stupid like drinking and driving. Uh, so that way they're not drinking themselves to oblivion and driving home. I was called Mr. Drunk uh, Designated Driver. And that was, let's see, when was it? Yeah, probably I would say more when I turned 18. Yeah, in Colorado. I mean, it was 18 when you can. This is, you figure this is an 85 we're talking about here. And then they passed a law where you can only, oh, you're grandfathered in if you're 18 after the year 1985. I slipped underneath the radar. Guess what? Yes. Guess who came to ask for beer? Good old Uncle Rod. Good old person, guy, whoever it was. Hey, can you buy me some MD 2020? Well, MD 2020. Mad Dog, damn it. Mad Dog. Okay, sure. Why not? Don't say, but you have to stay away from the liquor store because there's no one in hell going to buy you anything if you're be hanging by the liquor store asking for anyone to buy beer. I've seen too many people at that time get busted for buying beer or hard alcohol for minors. And guess who got in trouble for it? We did, because we were grandfathered underneath. And we were the ones to come to, especially in high school. And we knew some good friends in high school when we started college. Yeah, guess who they came to? It wasn't me, it was someone else of the same age. But they knew better and they did hang out in other areas. In this case, Tamarack Mall, great place. Cinderella City Mall, awesome place. Cinderella, the theaters. I mean, it was a great time. Movies as well. Spies Like Us, Terms of Endearment. There were some real bonzos at that time, which I'm not going to mention, but that we still liked. I'd say Spies Like Us, didn't I? I think I did. I don't know, but Blues Brothers. There's a classic for you. Um, and horror movies. The Thing. Now, who the hell didn't get scared by watching the movie The Thing? I know, it scared the fuck out of me. I always had to go looking around the corners and making sure there's nothing chasing me chasing down the hallway. Yeah, I mean, The Omen Part 3 came out in the early 80s. And I remember seeing the original from the 70s, and that scared the bleep out of me. And now you have the first Omen starting this year. Ooh, no, I don't need to be scared any more than that. No way. But it's just, I could say 70s in The Exorcist, but with the recent one being last year, I hope the next one is better than one that I saw. Need to say it, this last one actually made me laugh just like the first one. The only difference was the first one had credibility and was more scary. So what does that tell you? I mean, the 80s had great music. Not just the music, but horror movies, uh, parties, video games. I always go back to the video games because that's where the video games, the arcades were our, shall I say, our babysitters. They literally would watch us because we were too busy spacing out or is it zoning out on what was on TV. It's Donkey Kong. Wow, Zaxxon. I know that game. And of course, just fun time. We knew who our babysitters were, and the best time of our lives as my high school went. Yes, I mean when my brother started, I was in 11th grade. Uh, I was still work. He and his friends stayed away from me. Why? Because, well, sportos. Well, you know the line, from Ferris Bueller's Day Off. But needless to say, I was not exactly part of his group. until I turned 18. And when I did, it's like, right, what? Guess what you get to do? Fuck you. I am not. Yes, you are. No, I'm not. Yes, you are. No, I'm not. Yes, you are. No, I'm not. No, no, you're not. Yes, I am. No, you're not. Yes, I am. Shit, I got myself caught in that again. So, yes. Did I buy beer? Yes. My brother and his friends? Yes. Why? Because I knew at least I was be safe enough to realize I'm gonna bring then I was gonna knew that I was gonna bring these bozos home safe. And that's one thing I do know that they were extremely happy about and go from there. And I've been thanked plenty of times, especially when I had to throw my brother and his friend into the truck because 2 girls asked if we can give a drive to this one party that we knew. I was like, "In the trunk. If I'm gonna get laid, damn it, I am." So, in the trunk. Did I get laid? No. Why? Because I'm not their type. Oh, fuck them. I offered them a ride, and this is what I get? Fuck you too. Not kidding. They were drinking, I know it. I just wouldn't make sure they got home or to the next party where they're pretending I'm the they got home safely. I mean, if there was a superhero called Drunken Driver, Designated Driver Man, I was that. My superpower was having a car to bring them home. Uh, happy hour. I know this is taking long. I'll go a little further here, but I guess I could always hit the part one of a series. But no, basically, okay. And one from one end of the story to one went to another. Yes, I did graduate from high school. Uh, Decent grades, nothing wrong. Thing is, I went through college, looking for whatever it was that interested me in music. Music education, yes. But I was more into like music engineering, producing. But it's a skill that I didn't want to really be into. But I was looking at University of Washington, even Pepperdine. But I wound up downtown at Metropolitan State College of Denver, who I still hold as my alma mater, even though I didn't graduate from there. But I can tell you one thing though. I mean, college life was a bit different. When you graduate from high school, you've known the friends that you've known for such a long time, and you realize everyone's spreading out and spreading their wings and moving, whether it was from California to New York to Texas to Timbuktu, you never know where they were going to go to. But you always knew and always found out that your friends would still be there for you. And some friends did. That's the great thing with Facebook is that we have met our friends and who we really, really enjoy, talking with. And with me, yes, I still have a crush on a couple of them, which I am not bringing up any names, even though Tracy tells me I should. I'm not. Why? Because one's married, and I don't know if the other one is or not. Plain and simple as that. She's telling me there was more than that. Yes, there was 5. Okay, 5. So sue me. I'm not going to give the exact amount, but yes, 5. You want the amount? It's 5. 5. That's it. That's all you need to hear. It's 5. Jeez. But anyhow, yes. You have to hear when you graduate and you're hearing from someone, we all had our great times, we all had our great bad times, but I tell you one thing though, one time in our lives we will see each other once again, get together and have a beer and remember those good times. And the depressing part was these things. You get that damn glare in the glasses. Enough. So, but we did. We really did. You know, catch up as soon as Facebook caught on. It's one of those things that you got to realize that when you miss someone, you don't realize how much you miss them until you know, see them again. You know, whether it's a few years from now or two, whatever. I mean, we learned from one another. We loved one another. We hugged one another. We dated one another. I mean, to 1985, it was just it went so fast. From there, yeah, college life. I still hung around. My high school friends. Why the hell not? Yeah, I was kicked out by the dean to you're no longer a student here. I'm like, yeah, but some of my best friends here. Shouldn't need to call the cops. Night up. I'm leaving. I evaded as much as I could. I did a good job of doing it. So, me, why not? So, yeah, it was fun times. I really did. 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 See my beard. Went goatee. So, yeah, so from 85 to 90, a lot of shit got kicked around. You know, well, in the process of, studying, being a music educator, a teacher, it's something I always wanted to be because I wanted to mold tomorrow's kids and today's leaders. But how can you do that in music? Well, I did. I did. I did what I could, but not teaching music, but teaching the laws of life and what you shouldn't be doing. But it's your designated driver is always there no matter what. No matter what. And because these were my friends from high school and I wanted to make sure they got home safely. Good friend of mine, Ken, always said, when we got drunk, we always know you were there, Rodney, whatever you want to call me. I don't care. Call me Mr. Bald Crazy Guy or not. It's up to you. And now it's ball time. Yes, it's been fun. I kind of look like I should have been a reject from the 70s, but I'm not. The 80s were my decade. I loved it. I'm sure it was for a lot of other people. But I can tell you one thing for sure that as we get older, hold on, we all shared great lives together. Probably the best way. Best memories, best parties, the best idiots, best fights. Uh, and in the process, some of us got married. And which do I know to this day? Some of the friends that I do know have been married for over 30 years. My big congratulations to everyone out there. You guys made it work out. Me? Me? Married and divorced 2 times. Yes, two, 2 times. I could do the other thing, but I'm not going to. That part of what I'm with the station's about. Anyway, so cap's coming off. And one thing for sure, and I can tell you this, that it was it was still the 80s. We still all had fun, Some of us got married, some of us didn't. Some of us met someone who we thought we were going to get married to, I being one of them, but it didn't turn out. Tracy, who told me I could use her name, was one of those people. Thing is, I was such a fucking asshole who didn't was so damn shy to ask her on a date until later on in life when we saw each other again. You know, I said, "Why didn't you ask me to marry you?" I'm like, "I never even asked you on a date." She's like, "That's true." But why did we get to why did we was it so easy for us to talk? It's like, well, sometimes I think that's the best way to start things is when we talk. But it's when you take taekwondo class together and you're holding her hand down up to the side and she backs up into you, even though you're wearing a jock strap, backs up, and you still are growing something underneath. And it's not a chia pet. So you're gonna, you're gonna feel me chia pet. Oh yeah, there you go. But anyways, you know, it just we got close. Yes, we did. And well, she had other we had planned to do cross country skiing together. Did it happen that way? No. Why? Because I was an idiot. She and I should have started seeing one another. We would enjoy cross country skiing together. And well, I blew a great opportunity in life. I really did. Because I wound up dating someone who was 5 years younger than me. And I just got lucky. And I think luckily it's past statutes, law statutes, where not realizing when you're 21, you shouldn't be dating anyone 17 at the time because in the state of Colorado, that's considered statutory rape. Still is. So I'm 56 now. Why do you think I stay away from young, even if they're like 20 or 30? I don't care. I just feel weird, you know? I mean, we're talking about it's still a child to me, okay? We're talking about someone who was born in the 80's when they were still suckling on their mothers or whatever, or their bottles when I was having a great time playing video games. Nah, ain't happening. 90's, in their 40's, maybe. I've always made, I've always made a, how shall I say, rule for myself. That rule is, and always will be, no one date, not to date anyone under the, or over, which I did a few times, your age. Uh, so I'm I know it's the person that you meet is it's really it shouldn't be about the ages, but should be about the person inside. And I to a level agree with that. For me, there is there are my boundaries. Okay, you know, I recently yes have decided that there are boundaries that can be crossed, which I did. My second wife was 6 years older than me. I had two great kids with her, you know. Second wife and I just used my we let, try to make things work again. But the problem is that just our thoughts and ideas of life were just way different. I'm leaving it at that. And well, oh we duh, life goes on. You gotta do things differently, which I did. So recently I dated someone, let's see, 7 years older. So dated someone who was 63 and married 4 times, trying to put me in as number 65, number five. Not doing that again. Nope, no way, no how. Uh, mm-mm, boop, nope, nope, nope. And so I went back to, you know, between 45 and 60, maybe 61. I will go. Anything above those parameters, I can't. I just can't. I have. my beliefs. If someone doesn't agree with my beliefs, and and I'm sure if they don't like where my beliefs are, why get yourself into situation where it comes to a dead end and you realize, what the fuck was I thinking? But this is not about this. Yeah, I know, I know. Trace is telling me try. Well, another Tracy. Yeah, someone's been helping with this. That going off tangent. Go back to the 80s. Tracy H was the one I made the big mistake with. She went to UNC, and from what I understand from one of her friends, that's a, that she. I actually thought that she was, when she and I took the classes together, that she was majoring in educational, being a teacher. She said she never said anything like that, but I thought she did. Whoops. I'm sorry. I apologize. I didn't mean it. Oh well. So life goes on. So what does that tell you? That told me that I had my opportunity and I blew it over. Well, I was dating someone during winter break, and I was having fun. I'm sorry, I just was. Yeah, you can't just help but wonder. Wow, this is amazing. She's how much younger than I am, and I didn't care until I found out. Uh, Statutes in Colorado. Hello, good reason. She broke up with me anyway, but that's a good reason. So I got in better shape. We're starting to see one of my sister's friends, uh, who, yes, she was over 18 years old. Okay. Uh, just someone I really got along with. No, I'm not getting into any relationship shit anymore. Okay. But I can tell you one thing, that it was fun. She made me laugh. I made her laugh. We had fun. We bought, when my brother got married, it was something. I'm getting this sign for cutting it short here because we're coming across an hour here. So, but 85 to 90, total college years. I mean, yeah, I had fun, went to college, did what I had to, I started off with the 3.5, 3.6 average. And then, life happens. You realize that you're starting to party more and concentrate more on partying than college. And I could have been like Ludo, 0.0. But I did. I did. So, yes, I did meet someone. I did get married, and that was in 91. So, too early? Yes. But I still remember those 80s. Had a great time. And yes, did have a few crushes that I am talking to right now. If I had the opportunity to ask them out on a date again, I probably would. But it would have to be face to face. It can't be on Facebook, especially if they live hmm, in another state. Not a state of confusion, but a state like Illinois. So as that goes, there's more 80s that I can talk about, but there's too much. I'm thinking good times now. Okay, and that yes, there were bad times as well. I mean, like in very sad times, but you know, you've had fun when you're around a whole bunch of friends who feel the same way. And when you graduate, you realize I'm just more than honored to be friends with these people. To me, it was worth it. And let's see who we got. What do you mean? At 10 minutes. Sorry. She thought we had to cut it early. And I should cut it early. I really should. But yeah, it's not just me, though it had the good times and the bad times. A lot of other people do. A lot of other people did. And I'm sure there's so many stories out there. I'd love to hear them. You know, especially if they did what I did. As far as can we say, uh, walking into a bedroom when someone's having sex. Don't ever do that. Don't drink it too much where you're throwing up in a bathroom for about 10 minutes and realizing that someone needs to use a bathroom and said they get caught outside peeing when the cops see you for decent, so they bust you for indecent exposure. Not fun. Mm. Or like in my case, getting caught in uh, between landing between two stairs, getting ready to do the dirty, doing the whole horizontal bob, and cops catch you. That sucked. Seriously, it sucked. But then I found out later on that she was uh, very drunk and she had threw up about 3 times before I even met her. Eh, oh, well, we are all drinking at the time. We are having fun. Why not? One thing I can tell you is that it's just the high roads, the middle roads, and the low roads. We all do what we try to say in the middle. And they're telling us, "You want to get high?" We do you. Of course. Did we? Yes, we did. Where was the first place we went to when we got high? McDonald's or Taco Bell? Why? Because we knew if we wanted to throw up, at least we wanted to taste good. Good reason. There was a place called 39-cent hamburger stand. Did that work? No. My God. If you went to one of those places, you might as well just sit next to the toilet for the next 5 hours until you get all that stuff out of your system. Eesh, not good. Not good at all. Anyway, Joe was running out of blabbering. Yeah, there are just some things we just don't want to do. Yeah, and that was some of those things. And I have been told to take off the glasses again. You know, show me my eyes. You see, without the eyes. Why? Because it's happy hour. A whole close to an hour happy hour. But when it is happy hour, you know that it'll probably wind up coming on here for quite some time. Uh, my own personal history, what I've seen, and more than anything else, you know, it's always good to see things from each person's point of view that grew up in the 80s. And who are those? Our kids, our grandkids. Tell them and let them learn from what the mistakes that we did. And still to this day, we want to help out with designated driver. Me, I'm still that guy. The ESD, designated driver. But then again, I mean, this is who we are. This is who I am. Kind of one of the reasons why we, started that 80s station because it does bring back memories. You know, they could be memories that hold still your heart. Sometimes you have things that will break your heart too. But the thing is, one thing we need to remember more than anything else. We may have had broken hearts. We may have had found love at the time, but I can tell you one thing that women never take from us are the memories that we have for each other, which is true. You know what's going on next. Glasses and Eagles. Life isn't a kick in the pants. Life is about learning. We learned a lot in the 80s. We learned to party. We learned to get to know one another, and more than anything, we had learned more than we should have. But to the ones who had happiness then and to this day, being married, my hat's off to you all. So trust me when I say, no matter what decade you're from, you're always going to have those times. Times you're always going to remember. For my son and my daughter, they did. To say son and daughters, that they did. But more than anything else, make the memories any way you want, and anything you need to realize is that always be there, for your family and with the friends that you'll always remember inside your heart. We've had friends that unfortunately passed away that we've, known, and as far as I'm concerned, you still remember, them in your heart because you love, just the memories you had with them. And whether they hated you or they liked you, didn't matter because you still have those memories that just was ever thrown in a trash can? No, but I do know of a few people who did. Did anyone get any stories? What the hell those were at that time, I have no idea. But there were smoke bombs in the bathrooms, which everyone tried to stay away from. And more than anything else, I mean, it's a bunch of fun, especially during senior prank day. Always a fun day. Someone stole. I'm not going to say what it was because I don't want to incriminate the person who stole it, but it was funny. An icon. But, I'll leave it at that. And where we found it was even more funny. Oh, the memories here in Colorado. And I'm sure it was different in other cities as well. Don't get me wrong. It's not just Colorado, it's every other state, whether it's the indigenous 48 states, or Alaska, or Hawaii, or the territories. We all had fun. What's he looking at? Strangest thing is actually watching my eyeballs move when I'm talking. Everyone asks, "Is that natural?" Yeah, it's natural because I'm not acting. Just going with the flow. I'm not reading from any script. For me, it's about what we feel is right and what friends go through for the rest of our lives. There's the 80s, 90s, the new millennium, 2010, 2010, 2020. Doesn't matter. The thing is that we all had some great times. The 1980s, everyone still loves those music. Everyone still loves the music more than anything else. Cheer on, party on, and more than anything else, always stay with your friends. Whether they're here or there, they'll always be in your heart. Happy hour is, I guess it is, after this, we're no rant, just whenever you know what it's like. This is one person's opinion. I'm not, crazy old bald guy here. Crazy old Uncle Rod, as my family would call me, my nieces and nephews. But I can tell you one thing: I am normal. I have my moments, but more than anything else. There are many, many people who I love deep inside my heart that I remember and know as well. Until the next time you catch me actually being serious, you'll have a great weekend and stay sober. The Uber, yeah, Uber, Lyft, taxi. or the ones who can see me in Colorado know who I am, give me a call. I'll be there. Adios, amigos. Have a great weekend and stay safe. And hey, where'd everyone go? Hey, hey. I hate it. I hate it when everyone walks out on me. Good night.